Welcome in, everyone, to what was supposed to be the 2 p.m. game between the Chicago Hawks and the Winnetka Warriors. Of course, we're starting here at about 2:42. We've had 4 of our previous 6 games go to overtime, and of those 4 games, 3 of those have been decided. We only saw one tie go the length of the entire overtime, but an exciting slew of hockey throughout the day nonetheless, and that won't change here as we get a Chicago Hawks team. We haven't seen a Chicago Hawks team throughout the day. We've seen Chicago Blues and Chicago Jets, but they'll be going up against a Winnetka Warriors team, and we did see Winnetka in these really nice neon green, almost like those alternate Dallas Stars jerseys with the blacked out with just the neon green popping through. On that side. So the Hawks will be in their red, white, and blue, almost Rangers-esque in the white. And then, of course, in the black jerseys, it'll be the Winnetka Warriors. When you look at the standings, the Hawks in their 20 games played in the regular season, 17-2-1 tie. And they took home that first spot with 35 points. When you look at where Winnetka sits, this is the 1 versus 4 matchup. Winnetka taking home that 4th seed in their 20 games. They are 12-6, 1 tie and 1 overtime loss. So 26 points on the year. So really only 9 points separating these two teams. And that's not the biggest margin we've seen today. And Drew, my partner in crime over here, Drew Thomas, is joining me. I'm Mike Napolitano, if you've just joined us. We have seen all close games today.
Yes. It's been entertaining nonetheless, with a lot of close games, and looking for another one with this 1 seed versus 4 seed. And here we go.
We are underway here in period number 1. Hawks control off the face-off. Throw it into the Winnetka end, but we'll have to regroup at center. Another 12 minutes on the clock for us here today. Both teams just kind of feeling each other out in that neutral zone. McMahon throws that down into the attacking zone, and that one is flipped all the way down, but a couple of Hawks were offside, so we get a whistle stopping play. 11:30 still to go in this first period. Your goaltenders today on the Hawks side of things, we have in net number 30, Ethan Sarna. And that 2 goaltenders listed. I do see the other one on the bench. That is Nicholas Oyensko. And turnover. Cox with a shot near side, just missed. That is number 35 in net, Jax Tarak for the Winnetka Warriors. They have a second goaltender listed on the bench, Clayton Collins. We actually saw Clayton Collins in that earlier game. So this is exactly that same Winnetka team that we saw in the, I believe that was the 8-10 game. That's what it was. Yeah, the 8-10 game. But I will tell you that not only did they get the win over the Vipers in overtime, that was one of those games. They won 2-1, I believe, in that one. But we saw a lot from this team throughout that game. I expect to see a lot more. That shot rises wide. I see a lot of familiar faces and names on this roster. One that is out there right now is number 1, Dylan Norum. Had a stellar game earlier today. One's picked up in the offensive zone. A flip shot and a pad save there from Ethan Sarna. Kept in at the point. And that one flips out into the home bench of the Hawks. So I'll stop play with 10:29 to go.
I believe that was Patrick Graham with a nice little shot going glove side, bottom glove side.
That's a name I remember from earlier. Yeah, number 58 there, getting the first solid opportunity for Winnetka. A couple of Winnetka players have the eye black on as well. I know the lights are bright in here and the ice reflects quite a bit, but I don't know that maybe they're used to playing outside a little bit out in Winnetka. We got a couple of rosters out there that like Winter Club have outdoor rinks, and Chicagoland is good for that, especially this winter. We've had a couple of mild winters, but of course, this winter has been brutal for the most part. Into the corner now. Pinched off the puck. Down on the ground is Nellie Frank. We saw a lot from her in that first game, and that puck escapes the point man for the Hawks, and it'll go all the way down for an icing. That was Max Maliniuk. Maliniuk was at the point, and that just went a little bit too far, and an icing call nonetheless. Cox will line up for the draw for the Hawks. Puck is dropped into the skates of Cox and picked up by Cole Fensteel. Winnetka not able to clear there. Fensteel still in the zone, and that's pushed back out into the neutral zone and dumped back down once more into the Hawks attacking end. Cox to Fensteel, loses it in the slot. There comes Graham once more, looking for another grade A opportunity, but gets pushed off into the corner. This one is thrown the length of the ice, but not going to go far enough for icing. So regrouping there for Winnetka is Ward Oliver, excuse me. Hawks throw it in front, and that's across the crease and wide. Oliver through one defender, through another. Had a couple of teammates, and just toe picked right there. Maybe caught a rut in the ice and went down. And we're going to get a whistle for an icing, and that'll bring the face-off all the way back down in the other direction. .808 to go here in this first period. Still no score between Winnetka and Chicago. Norum in for the draw for Winnetka. Won it back and thrown from number 50, Henry Reynolds. Look out, here comes the Hawks the other way, as they look to make a stretch pass through the neutral zone. That'll go all the way, but not far enough for icing. It is Nellie Frank once again on it. Melaniuk throws it back in, but that's offside, so we'll get a whistle stopping play. Five skaters for the Hawks. That'll be Jones, Anderson to take the draw. On the far side, Logan Wallace. On defense, you have Jordan Portillo and Landon Dorovic. Fresh skaters out there for the home side. Norum up the half wall, pushed back down low. Hawks try to clear once more. They will, but only as far as center. Picked back up by Anderson. Anderson cutting through the defense, has a little bit of room. Jones trying to find a pass back to the middle. Wallace now on it. Wallace stick handling in the corner. Thrown in front to the point to Dorovic, excuse me. Shot that goes wide, and Winnetka able to pick back up and clear their zone. As far as the red line, stick checks, Norum there. Stick handling through one, a really nice move, and just couldn't get the handle on it when he went to go take the shot. So just a beautiful toe drag move, and just couldn't complete the rest of the move. That's on the blue line, and we will get a call that did cross, and that's an offside. So A whistle stopping play, 6:30 to go.
That was a beautiful move by Dylan Norm and just couldn't finish it. Couldn't finish it off.
We've seen some stick handling from him earlier today, and I know it was before you got here. It was myself and Andrew, and I think Hannah was there, of course, for that game. So we saw what Norm was capable of. But, I mean, of course, you got to imagine playing a second game here, you're probably a little bit tired and kind of starts to drain on you. Luckily, there was a little bit of space in between the two. That puck goes wide. But the hands have still got to be feeling it, right? You got to have those hot hands, and that is still a threat against this Hawks team. They got to watch out for it. 6:03 to go.
Looks like they just got tangled up along the wall. Oh, got a hand up.
We've got a delayed call here as we got a cross-checking penalty. So looks like the Hawks are going to the box, and it'll be a power play for Winnetka. As number 29, Luke Van Sickle, headed to the box for a minute and a half. 5:40 still to go in this first period. No score, but a grand opportunity for this Winnetka Warriors team as they put their top line out there. They've got Henry Reynolds, Dylan Norm, and that was number 58, Patrick Graham, trying to take the shot right off the face-off. A little bit of a touch pass situation, trying to get that puck to the back door, and it just wouldn't go. Hawks clear. Length of the ice, but no icing. Thrown back the other way. Portillo there is going to corral that. Flip a nice saucer pass to Lee, but it was a little too hot to handle. Still got a tip on it, though. Winnetka will have to regroup on the power play. Hawks have had some offensive zone time here on the power play, and they've got some loud fans here. You could probably hear them even through the microphone, and it is full hockey swing here between these two, and there's a whistle stopping play, and get an offsides call as the Hawks have really put on pressure despite being shorthanded.
Yeah, it was a really good job by the Hawks putting on pressure during they're the ones without a player right now. So it's a great way for the great when you're the one on the when you're the one without a extra man. It's a very good job from the Hawks to be the one taking offense right now.
It's hard to do too, but there is a lot of open ice out there if you could take advantage of it. Sometimes we see even at this level, you see a lot of power play units that, you know, maybe aren't sure quite how to get into the zone and use all that extra space. It's almost a little bit easier, ironically, playing 5-on-5 when everybody has their own man. You almost kind of don't know where to go, and that's where it allows that shorthanded team to kind of work a little harder because you're shorthanded, and also get that extra space to do something with it. Create a little confusion as here comes Winnetka. Man advantage is over. They carry into the zone though. Not able to get that puck deep enough. So it pops right back out and right back in for an offsides. 4:10 still left in this first frame. Sometimes a power play can hurt you. You don't get any momentum on it or really any sustained zone pressure. You get a little extra frustration, and it seems like maybe weighing on Winnetka a little bit here that they didn't get that accomplished, but
There's still a lot of time left. We have 4 minutes left in the first period.
4:04 here to go. Cox will line up for the draw. You hear a loud Hawks chant from the right side of the bleachers. The Hawks faithful cheering on their squad. They got a little bit of momentum clearing the puck all those times on that power play and even getting a couple of offensive chances themselves, as Drew mentioned, and that's knocked down with a high stick and played again by the Hawks. So that'll be a whistle stopping play. And we will have a face-off. It'll come all the way back down into the Hawks' end since it was played deliberately. 3:44 to go Anderson's in the lineup for the draw. This will be against Norham. Shooting position for the Winnetka Warriors as you don't see a skater at that far wing spot. Kind of loaded up in the, if we win the face-off, we're just going to throw this on net type position. And that's exactly what happened. It wasn't necessarily that person, but Norham had that ready to go. You see two defenders at the point.
Sometimes it's tough for the goalie there. If you win the face-off and you get it right and you try to put it right on net right away, it's tough for the goalie to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I mean, not only do you have a couple bodies lined up for that sophisticated face-off, right? Like you've got to line up a certain way, but also, you know, you're paying attention to, you know, who wins the draw rather than is this coming on net. It can sometimes catch a goalie off guard. Thrown with the backhand, that goes wide. Winnetka trying to keep this in. Good pinch along the boards from the defense. That is number 53, Ward Oliver. Rung around the far side. And no pinch available that time for Winnetka, so the puck will exit the zone and they'll have to restart. As that one restarted them offsides, and we'll get another whistle. 2:54 still in this first period. Face-off won by the Hawks. Portillo pairing up with it. The defenseman on the rush. Thrown deep into the Winnetka zone. Winnetka through center ice. That's Nellie Frank. Going wide with it. Has an option in the center, but just couldn't get the pass across. Goes crashing into the end boards with the defender. That is Landon Dorovic as well. No centering pass there for Winnetka, so the Hawks will regain possession and carry back out. Going wide with it. Good stick in the lane to knock off that pass from Frank. Back down into the corner. McMahon throws that puck wide, just may have caught the top of the crease there. Along the half wall. Two Winnetka skaters, and that puck is cleared all the way the length of the ice. And haven't heard a lot of Ethan Sarna's name. Made a couple of great saves, but has some good defense in front of him. He puts his arm up for the icing. So come back down on the other side by Jax Turok. That'll be on the glove side. Winnetka is able to push that puck all the way out. I believe the Hawks just won it back, but there was nobody there. Hawks skating with it in their own zone. Push up the wall. Just evading the stick of Cole Fensteel. He gave chase, and the Hawks took over momentarily in the offensive zone. They'll re-enter the zone. Fensteel again. Going wide with it. Good puck protection on the backhand. Shot goes through the crease in the final minute here of this first period, and pressure for Winnetka is mounting as they struggle to still clear this puck. Sent down low again. Still not out. Hawks keep this in. High slot. Cox try to throw it down low to Fensteel. Cox again from the high slot. That one hits the pads of Jax Turok. 26 seconds to go here. That buzzer's off from another rink, if you did hear that in the distance. Fensteel picks this puck up, trying to cut to the middle. A shot, he scores! 16.9 to go in this first period. And you felt it coming from the Hawks. Fensteel makes it 1-0. Well, persistence, zone time, and tiring out your opponent, the combination that leads to a goal. And Colfen Steele finds the back of the net with plenty of room cutting across the slot. Skating left, shooting right, near side, glove side, and it's quickly 1-0. That is gloved, and we will get a whistle as Tarak elects to hold on to that one with 9.2 to go here in that first period. Drew, you talk about times to score that really throw a dagger or a wrench into the plans of your opponent, and it's within the last minute of any period.
Yes, absolutely. If you could score in the last minute of a period, or like after having possession of the puck for almost the entire last few minutes of the period, it's really tough on the defense, and then scoring on top of it kind of makes you go back to the bench and just have to think about how to come back from it.
We'll see how Winnetka responds as we head to the second period with a score of 1-0. Drew Thomas, Mike Napolitano will be back right here on the Stream Sports Midwest Central States channel, live from West Dundee between the Winnetka Warriors and the Chicago Hawks. Ready to go here for period 2. If you just missed it, the Chicago Hawks barely sneak in a goal at the end of that first period to make it 1-0 over the Winnetka Warriors. A goal from Colfen Steele makes it a 1-0 lead for Chicago as we go into this second period. And we look to see if they want to add on. Wow, a rising shot from Portillo from the point. That one nearly found its way to the far side, but it went wide of the post. Hawks trying to pinch off the Warriors along the boards, and they get possession back in the offensive zone. They dump and chase, but it's picked back up by the Warriors. Once again, dumping and chasing. Just tiring out this Warriors team a little bit. They have a little bit shorter of a bench than the Hawks, but about the same. Not really too much of a difference here between these two teams. Pass up to Norum. Norum on the backhand. Trying to go forehand near side, and that one just wouldn't go. The righty had that forehand opportunity for the near side. There's a tip, and that puck was still loose for a moment, but covered up by the goaltender Ethan Sarna, and we'll get a whistle. 10:41 in the second period. Wholesale line changes from both sides. Fresh new skaters in this second period.
That was a really good attempt on goal for Winnetka Wings. Haven't seen too many of those recently, but hey, get them when you can.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot from Dylan Norum in that first game, especially with the speed. So if Norum can create some chances and get breakaways, that's going to be great for the Warriors and get them opportunities to not only streak Norum in and have some shots on goal uncontested, but also just create some offensive zone time. This is the 6th game that we've done here today. I almost couldn't count for a second there. 6th game that we've done here today, and every game has been decided by basically one goal.
One goal.
So
if it wasn't decided by one goal, it ended in a tie.
yes, that was the basically part I was thinking of as I was trying to formulate that. Here comes a couple of stick handles from the Hawks, and a shot just goes wide of the cage. I think Jax Tarak thought of saving that, but it would have been going wide anyways. Thrown into the low slot. Hawks turnaround shot. It was still loose momentarily, and it still is. Pops back out, but it finds the corner. Winnetka trying to evade some stick checkers and get out of their zone. And we will get a whistle stopping play. We're going to get a tripping call along the boards here and see who this is on. This was on the near side. It's a little bit tough for us to see both broadcasting and camera-wise. Looks like it's going to be on the Hawks. Number 29, Luke Van Sickle, headed to the box. So with 9:30 to go, exactly, it'll be 1:30 of power play time. If they elect to use the entire time and don't score, that'll bring us down to 8 minutes to go in this second period. This is a much-needed power play for the Warriors. One back to the point. Stick check in the slot. Norum in the low slot. A shot, and he scores! Dylan Norum! You had to feel like that one was coming all day. And just a perfectly placed shot from the point that doesn't get through. Lands at the doorstep for Norum to put it in near side and beat the stick side of Ethan Sarna.
I don't even know how much time ran off the power play clock for that one.
Yeah, that was quick. I was talking about, a whole minute 30 later, it'd be 8 minutes to go if they used that whole power play time. And Sorum said, nuh-uh, maybe just 5 seconds at most. 9:15 on the clock as we start back up. So I guess, it was started at 9:30. Maybe it was a full 15 seconds, but it felt way quicker than that.
I know. I was gonna say it felt 15 seconds, and then as soon as Norm got the puck, capitalized quickly, and it was a nice little shot, right? Top left shelf.
So this is, as Yogi Berra would say, deja vu all over again. We have a 1-1 score, as we have seen pretty much in every game here thus far today. There was only one game where I believe a team got out to a 2-0 lead, and that was quickly erased, though. So, everything has been pretty much a tie today, and looking like it's heading towards overtime. And I think these later teams, because their games have been so delayed due to all the other overtimes, I think some of these players are saying, well, fine, you're going to delay our games and make us wait, then we'll go to overtime as well. We'll make you guys wait. So here we go again, set up for a really tightly contested one.
Even though I don't know if most of these teams want to go to overtime.
Yeah, no, definitely not. You don't want to give up those points. But you know what? That's going to be funny is pretty much everybody will have gone to overtime today, so everybody's going to get points.
Yeah.
It's like
absolutely.
Oprah out here. You get points. You get points. You get points. 8:10 to go here in this second period. We're tied at 1. Norum, the goal scorer. Stick handling through a few, creating some space and some protection on the backside. And fans were up in arms. They wanted to call on Norum, but that's just some good contact going into the end boards. Ran out of room as well. Portillo, stick checked, but Cox is there to pick up the puck, and Cox down the wing. Cox on the near side, shooting, and it looked like there was room there, but closing that off quickly was Jax Tarak. Carrying this puck up along the far wing are the Winnetka Warriors. Throwing it on net. That one was kicked away by Sarna. And all the way back down, Winnetka going to get an icing call out of this with 7:20 still remaining. Once again, full sail changes for both sides. And boy, oh boy, will they ever need it in a tightly contested game. Some fresh legs. You hear those "Let's Go Hawks" chants again. Those are typically for the Chicago Blackhawks, but when you are called the Chicago Hawks, that applies to you too. Anderson in his own zone, carrying out through 2 checkers. A slap shot from the high circle, and that one goes wide. kept in at the point by the Hawks. But Winnetka now clearing. Moving up with it is Ryder Stock. Stock to the center. A shot from the slot. It's rolling, and it wouldn't go in. Great defensive work there from Chase Dima. Chase Dima with a stick on the goal line, sweeping that puck away as if he was Brent Seabrook or Duncan Keith. Right on that doorstep. Maybe even Nicholas Jalmerson, although that was more the blocking of the shots. But what a save to keep this game level. That puck was slowly trickling past the goaltender and into the net, and that would not go. Hawks trying to carry up into the offensive zone. Stick checked as they got across the blue line. Wallace down low. Couldn't get that puck deep enough, and it pops back out into the neutral zone. Dima with that good stick earlier and able to throw that puck in. It comes all the way back to the Hawks defense, and it's thrown all the way back into the offensive zone. You thought it was going down for an icing, but instead it is an offsides. This is that period of the long change here, so there is a door in the offensive zone for the Hawks, and they were busy changing as that puck was being thrown into the offensive zone, so we'll get a face-off right in front of their bench. And Stickle was in the box earlier, but takes the draw and wins it for the Hawks. Winnetka stopping that puck before it even gets past the top of the umbrella there. Puck changes hands in the neutral zone a few times here, and back on it is Portillo. Passes that into Nelly Frank, and Frank has some space along the wing, cuts to the middle, and a shot into the pads, and look out, it's still loose. Frank's still on the ground, not able to get up, but there was a rebound opportunity there. Here comes the Hawks the other way. Sliding on the ice, and a glove save had to be made, and an awkward one from Jax Turok. It's not exactly like a baseball mitt, so you can't really field a grounder like that. So that's a little bit tougher if you're not using your pads. There's another shot from Dylan Norum, and that's into the breadbasket of Ethan Sarna, and we get a whistle. 4:39 here in period 2. 1-1 between the Hawks and the Warriors. Hawks number 25, that's Declan Cox standing up for the face-off. And just barely offsides are the Warriors as they tried to re-enter the zone as they were exiting. And you see the hand motion from Henry Reynolds to his teammate Ward Oliver saying, "It's not your fault, that was on me. I didn't get out of the zone fast enough," but they dump this puck back down after the face-off win and go to retrieve it. Not able to keep at the blue line, so that'll be back to the defense, and the pressure was coming, so they'll just turn and fire it back down the other way. Onside as they enter the zone. That's Ryder Stock into the corner. Puck is rolled off the half wall on the near side all the way to the far side half wall. So cross ice. And coming up with it is Fritz Lark. Lark on the wing. Snuffed out by the Winnetka defense, and they shimmy the other way, but it's not enough as there are too many white sweaters around. Then Steele fighting for that. He was catching up and gaining ground, but there was a corner there that wouldn't allow him to. If he had just a little bit more room ice-wise, I think he would have been fast enough to get to that puck first. Cutting to the middle are the Warriors. A shot, and what a goal! Beautiful power move to the inside. And a beautiful goal from Patrick Graham. He makes it 2-1 Winnetka.
just as you said, Mike, that was a beautiful goal from Patrick Graham. He went up the ice, went up, what was that, left side?
Yeah, and Patrick Graham, I think he went to the bench now, but trying to gauge, trying to remember, yeah, I think he's a lefty, right? So that's a little bit of forehand, backhand to get to the center, but then back to your forehand to put it in the side you came from, technically near side, and just slot it over that right pad of the goaltender, Jackson Turok. Or excuse me, sorry, that's the other side of things. So actually, we've had a goaltender change. I didn't even notice this. That's Nicholas Oinzinko. Anzico, I believe. That's a tough one. I might need some help in the chat.
On Zenko.
Thrown in front. I'm going to go with Anizisco. Anjiko, maybe Anjiko. It almost kind of looks like Old Czech, so I'm guessing it's a similar pronunciation. And Winnetka entering the zone offsides. As we have 2:08 still to go here in this second period. You hear that "Let's Go Hawks" chant again as they're trying to fire up their side that has now fallen behind. We saw that first goal from the Hawks. That was Cole Finsteel. And nothing since then. And that one is thrown. That may have hit one of the gloves on the Hawks bench.
Yeah, I saw a glove fly up in the air. I didn't know if it actually hit the glove or they were throwing their hand up in the air.
Yeah, I don't know. We play on though. 1:42 to go here in this second period, and that one is in on goal and saved nicely along the half of the netting by Jax Turok. So Jax has stood pretty tall in this one. Just that one goal from Finsteel that I was talking about, and I mean, he was all alone in front and cutting one way, shooting the other. Is not a whole lot that Turok could have really done. And chalk up that second goal from the Winnetka Warriors from Dylan Norum, not from Dylan Norum. That was from Patrick Graham. That same kind of way, where cutting through the defense, skating one way, then shooting the other. It was a little bit more square to the goaltender, but just a perfectly placed shot. Portillo. Puck protection on the backhand, dumps it deep. 70 seconds to go here in this second period. Carrying up with it is the goal scorer, Patrick Graham. Stick checked at center. Gets it back, though. Pinches along the board. And that's thrown right back out. Trying to dump that puck in, and Winnetka goes offsides once again as the guilty party, Patrick Graham, once again slow to get back. Chicago will do a full line change, as will Winnetka. We've seen a lot of matching between these two teams. Every single time one team switches all 5 skaters, the other team does the same. And I mentioned they have 2 very similar sized benches. And maybe a factor is giving your first line as much time as you're giving your second line to try to stay with the same skill of legs and endurance as the other squad.
They're fresh legs. Hey, if you have fresh legs, a lot of the time that hustle alone will give you the advantage. And it seems like both teams are trying to keep fresh legs on the ice at all times.
30 to go here in this second period. And the Warriors are offsides as Norm was the original puck carrier and across the blue line as the puck was still sitting in the neutral zone and finding his teammates. So 25 seconds on the dot in this second period, and we will see if anybody can make do with that little time still left. Norum lining up for the draw. I haven't seen Winnetka line up to any draws normally where you have a winger on each side. They always seem to favor side. And oh, look out! That one just sneaks past the crease and the open goal. And the Hawks have tied things. I'm not even sure. I didn't even see who the shooter was. Was that Fenn Steele again?
It was either 7 or 25. That was a little bit.
That happened all too quickly right there. Either way, both of them are back out there. I was just thrown from the side, and hey, you know the old adage, you just throw things at the net and good things will happen. And that is exactly what happened for the Hawks there. So we saw a last-minute goal in, I believe it was last game? Or was that the first period of this game? They're
No, we saw a last-minute goal at the end of the first period for
this game, yes.
Yep, for the Warriors. And now on the other end, you have Chicago.
That's right.
You have the Chicago Hawks scoring at the last minute for them.
So what goes around comes around here. We'll take a break as we go into the third period, tied at 2 here from Canlan in West Dundee. My broadcasting partner, Drew Thomas, myself, Mike Napolitano, will be right back. Back underway here for period 3 action between the Winnetka Warriors, who just had the game tied on them after they just tied the game at the end, or actually they took the lead at the end of that first period. So 2 last-minute goals in 2 periods. What are we in store for in this third period thriller? It's 2-2 between the Winnetka Warriors and the Chicago Hawks. Another 12 minutes on the board. And
just today, we've seen a lot of games spent tied up almost the entire game, entire match.
Yeah, if it wasn't 0-0, if it wasn't a scoreless affair until almost the bitter end, it's been 1-1 or 2-2 for the longest of times. There's not been too much time in which a team has had a 2-goal lead. I think that just goes to show you how evenly matched, no matter what seeding position you have for the Central States playoffs here. That shot is blocked in front. And you've got the Winnetka Warriors trying to move out with it. Fore side as they work for it along the boards. Norum picks it up. Norum cutting through the center, runs out of room. That puck was still loose, but not able to put the brakes on in order to get the rebound that was left right in front. Winnetka pulling it out of the corner. Norum, a shot that hit the mask of the goaltender, Oizinko. Off the side of the cage. That one hits off the board at the end. Winnetka still trying to keep this puck in the offensive zone. The Warriors looking to sway the momentum back in their favor. Near side shot, and Nicholas didn't know where that was, but it went wide of the cage. That gets thrown all the way back down, and that'll be an icing the Hawks are guilty of. So 9:41 to go in this game, and we are still tied.
I know you don't usually want to go for icing, but in that situation, with how much pressure the Warriors were putting on the Hawks, you just would rather get a icing to get the line change in, get some fresh legs out there, and just, I mean, still stick on defense.
Yeah, I mean, you got to alleviate the pressure somehow, and especially at this level, you're allowed to change up. You're not guilty of icing, and that puck's got to come back down. You have to keep the same 5 skaters out there so you can get the pressure alleviated quickly through that. You don't want to ice the puck the whole game, but yeah, you're definitely right. That's a good position to take that icing. You'll take that all day. Even if you were at that National Hockey League level, I think you'd even ice that puck just to get that quick little breather and regroup in the zone. Winnetka, they're regrouping in the offensive zone, throwing it in front. It's Amon Richard. We saw a lot of him in that first game, but look out, here comes the Hawks the other way. Muscled off the puck, but Lee is the trailer man. A shot hits the crossbar and goes down and in. Lee with the shot. And wow, they call that Bar Mexico as it goes bar down. And the Hawks have come from behind in this one to stun Winnetka. There's still plenty of time on the clock, but boy, oh boy, Teddy Lee with a perfectly placed shot that draws iron and goes straight down. And he's fired up. You can see it in his legs, and he's excited as he gets right back to the faceoff dot. Puck is dropped once again, 3-2 in favor of the Hawks here. Just at 9 minutes to go here in this final frame. This puck comes all the way back down, and missing it once again with the glove is Oizenko. Puck comes back into the Winnetka end. They fight for it there. That came on net, but not frozen. Thrown back up the half wall on the near side and out. Dorovic couldn't contain it. Here comes Winnetka the other way. They had a little bit of a push after giving up the tying goal, but they give up the go-ahead goal on that last rush, and now they're really playing a little bit more on their heels with some urgency, losing that lead. Look out, that puck was rolling as it found its way to Jax Tarak, and just had to kind of play it to his teammate after it rode up the stick and the glove. Knifing through defenders along the half wall, and Winnetka loses possession, so it's the Hawks going the other way. Van Sickle. Luke Van Sickle centering pass, and that one goes on net. Maliuk, a shot, hits off the shin pads of a defender and goes wide. Hawks with a rebound opportunity. That stays out.
Good poke.
And the Hawks still keep possession in the offensive zone. Another shot on goal and a quick glove from Tarak to snuff out that damage. 7:30 still left in regulation. 3-2 in favor of the Hawks. Look at an offensive zone draw. Fans are fired up now. Face off. Go ahead.
Yep, the Hawks have taken a little bit of time, have a lot of pressure right now on offense. Waiting for the Warriors to they're playing a lot of good defense and just got to get some offense going on the other side.
Portillo with that flip shot, almost reminiscent of Lee's go-ahead goal. Was trying to get shots from distance that may have the length. But here comes Winnetka the other way, blowing a tire along the boards and not able to stay up on the skates. Was number 50, Henry Reynolds. And Steele going to be able to carry out. Look out, he had a flat-footed defenseman in front of him. He's going to gain some zone, but good tracking back from the Winnetka Warriors defense to cover instead. And that puck is still thrown in front, and it's still loose until it's covered by Jax Tarak. And boy, are the Hawks still putting the pressure on. It's one thing to get that go-ahead goal and to just kind of park the bus and think, we just got to hold them. It's another thing to continue that offensive barrage and keep attacking.
Sometimes the best defense is just a little bit more offense, and the longer the Hawks can have possession of the puck is just going to keep it tougher for the Warriors to capitalize on these opportunities.
Cox will line up for the draw. Both referees talking something over momentarily, but we get back underway. 6:39 to go here. Norum and Cox. Going back to the point. That hits off a defender, and look out. Goaltender Tarak was leaning one way and had to go scramble the other way, loses his stick in the process, and Winnetka was able to give their goaltender the stick. That should be a penalty right there, but nobody saw that. You are allowed to pass it with the stick back to your goaltender. You're not allowed to pick up the goalie's stick, because then you have two sticks and play with it. So that was technically illegal, but we play on here. 6 minutes to go in this third period. Here comes Fence Steele. Could have some room here. Cutting to the middle and couldn't gain the blue line. Puck finally gets swept into the Winnetka zone, but right back out, and here comes Norum. A stick handle away from getting a clean break there and goes crashing into the corner. Incidental contact, nothing doing. Going back around the end boards. Winnetka has to pass back to their defense and go D to D, but it's broken up by Fence Steele. Fence Steele is going to beat this puck into the corner and throw it back out to his defense. Malinuk tried to go back in, but Fence Steele was deep into the zone, so that's an offsides. 5:18 remaining.
That was very good defense on both sides. You had number 10 on the Warriors, Frank, play really good defense. And then you had 65, Malinuk, playing very good defense on almost a breakaway on both sides.
Yeah, Max Malinuk has been stellar throughout this game, but we've also seen, as you mentioned, number 10, Ellie Frank, be great in that first game and even super effective here in this second game for this Winnetka Warriors squad. But you just got to imagine that if you're Nellie Frank, you feel like you could have done a little something more in this game. Not saying that personally, but that whole Winnetka Warriors team is starting to scramble a little bit. And even though they've played great individually, they're still trailing that goal. They had their moments scoring in the last minute, but this Hawks team has responded right back. And look out, here's a turnover.
And they're responding now.
Yeah, responding now in the offensive zone and pouncing on that puck. That was Oizinko. Oizniko. I'm going to get it by the end of the day. I don't know if we've had a pronunciation in the chat, but Oizisko? Nicholas.
There you go. We'll go by first name.
Yeah.
He's on a first name basis.
If only they would have kept Sarna in that, but they elected to split the goaltending time within this game. 4:24 left in this final period. Winnetka trying to get that game-tying goal here. It's into the slot, thrown in front, and pouncing on it with the glove once again is Nicholas.
Good backhand by Patrick Graham right there.
Yeah, Patrick Graham just throwing that puck on net, doing whatever he can to, like we said earlier, that's how the Hawks tied things up, right? Is just throw anything at the net. Something is eventually going to go your way. You're going to get those lucky bounces.
Yep. Lucky bounce, lucky rebound, and just, put it in the goal.
Hawks clear their zone. Right back in are the Winnetka Warriors. Near side, a shot. That one is swallowed up by the chest and the glove of Nicholas Onizisko. I'm going to go with that for the rest of the day here. We've got 4 minutes, 3:59 specifically, here to go. Unless it's like Oinachek. Anyachek? Anyazeko. There we go. We've had a couple of really tough names, even within this game, but throughout our time here, throughout my time, and I'm going to be honest, I don't think I've had one that was more of a brain blender for me, so I give him props. That's that one almost made me feel like I was losing it a little bit. Frank back to pick that up in her own zone. Ellie Frank turned over. Fun steal. Thrown down low. 3:28 still left. You got to imagine in about 2 minutes that crease is going to be empty if the Winnetka Warriors don't score within that time. Throwing that in front, but a good read and a good stick by the defense for the Winnetka Warriors. And here comes Norum. Norum just barely got across the blue line, but it's popped back out, and the Winnetka Warriors will have to restart. Norum back in, got some help from a teammate. No trailer on that one, so that puck is knocked back out. And here comes Fensteel. He's only got one to beat. Trying to take that outside route, but getting pinched off along the boards. Behind the net, tried to center that puck. I think it's under him momentarily. And Winnetka, no communication. They'll just throw that back out into center. Dorovic flipping that puck back in. And that is CC Callip that was helping out Norum, passing it up to him. And Norum, a shot, might have been a pass across the crease that was looking for a tip, and that one, a little bit of a soccer move at the points that kicks it right into the Hawks bench, and we get a whistle stopping play.
I thought they were going for the one-timer there with that pass across.
Yeah, that was interesting. That was a little bit too hot to handle. Nobody backdoor, but then it finds the point, and Teddy Price just some superb Messi or Ronaldo skills and finds that puck in the Hawks bench. Face off right in front of that Hawks bench. Gets play restarted, and here comes a possible 2-on-1 break. The backdoor opportunity was there for Patrick Graham. He's got one today already. He's still hanging out in that area. There's the pass, and good stick from the goaltender. And that minder read that one perfectly. 1:42 left to go here. Can't pull the goaltender just yet because here come the Hawks on the break. Shot, that goes wide. And here comes a Winnetka Warriors. The Hawks wanted a call right there. I'm not sure what that would have been for. I know they wanted the call earlier for picking up the goaltender stick, but coming out of the corner here is Amon Richard in front. A turnaround shot, a rebound opportunity, and standing tall is Anizisko.
There you go.
I knew I'd get it.
There you go, Nicholas.
Only 1 minute and 13 seconds to go. The Winnetka Warriors are going to take their time out and draw up a play here. If you're the Warriors, you got to take this face-off that you just won in the offensive zone, win it, and do something with it. You're pressuring on the doorstep just a moment ago. You can't let your foot off the gas. I wonder if we see the net empty here as we start the final 73 seconds of this game. Both whiteboards out, so play being drawn up on the Hawks side of things.
Now, do you keep the goalie in just in case the other team wins the face-off, or do you just keep him out now? That's the question.
I'm gonna go with, I think because this Winnetka team has already played one game, I think they take the goalie out. And yeah, sure enough, they're moving him to the bench. I think you already take the goalie out because you already won one game here today. You got some points.
You get some points up on the board.
And you've played a really great game here. I think you put some trust into your forwards and your wingers and even your defense that you can not only maybe win this face-off, but even if you don't, keep it away from your own net. Just get as much time 6-on-5 as you possibly can here to try to get one more. And speaking of one, that's Dylan Norum at the draw, number 1 for the Winnetka Warriors. Lining up against Henry Anderson. These two have been lined up the entire night. You see 4 skaters towards the net, and that one gets thrown at the net. 4 skaters for the Hawks were lined up in front of the crease. That could have caused a little bit of traffic. There's that drawn up play, and now you're just going to have to get set up zone possession and try to find something. Under a minute to go here. Winnetka along the boards. Norum down low. Thrown up the far wall and held in at the point. Another pass and a shot, and he scores! Amon Richard with that alley-oop-esque. It was a shot from the point that he just continued to push through in the low slot, and we have a tie game.
If we weren't talking about overtime enough,
oh my goodness,
we might have another one.
We may have jinxed everyone here in the building.
With 44.5 seconds left. Went right through the wickets.
That's got to be a huge relief for this Winnetka side that has played a phenomenal game thus far. And boy, oh boy, I mean, when you talk about clutch goals, just 44.5 to go, and that's one of those instances where pulling the goaltender does work out for you. May have been knocked down with a high stick, but we play on. Norum carrying this puck up. A little bit of a toe drag, couldn't get around the defense. And we are going to get a tripping call right there. It is on Connor Kelly of the Winnetka Warriors. Just kind of got the stick a little bit too caught in the skates of the Hawks defender. And for 21.1, still in regulation, the Hawks are going to have a power play. They're going to call their timeout and drop a play. So we're going to call our timeout, and we're going to take a step aside. You're listening and watching the Stream Sports Midwest Central States playoffs here from West Dundee in the Leaf Center. Drew Thomas, myself, Mike Napolitano, we'll be right back. Back underway here for the final 21 seconds. Thrown from the slot. Another pass. He shot. He scores with 12.4 on the power play. And Fensteel finds the back of the net. Can you believe this chaos? The Hawks with a stunner. 2 goals in this game within a minute. One after the first period, one after the second period. We've seen 2 here in the final minute of the third period. 4 goals in total scored in the final 60 seconds of the 3 periods. Unbelievable. It's going to be a 6-on-5 for the Winnetka Warriors as they try to just push this puck forward in the last 12 seconds. They just got to get this puck in and take a shot on net. Down to 5 seconds. It goes into the end boards. The Hawks are just going to try to pin it there. Fensteel is going to let time expire, and the Hawks side is going absolutely crazy. You see them on the glass, and the Hawks players rushing over to celebrate with their goaltender that didn't start the game, but came up big when needed. Boy, oh boy, this Hawks side is absolutely fired up. You got to tip your cap, though, to the Winnetka Warriors, who had a clutch goal from Amon Richard to just make this a tie game and try to force overtime, and unfortunately not able to withstand the last 44 seconds.
This is exciting playoff hockey, nonetheless. I mean, both sides. With how many goals were scored? Four? Or no? Wait, sorry.
Well,
in the last.
oh, in the last game, that was I believe that was a 4-3 finish as well.
Yeah.
And this
Again,
one a 4-3 finish, but in regulation.
all these playoff games ending in a